Hi everyone, Anthony Morganti here. You may already know that recently On1 Software has updated Resize 2022. It's now called Resize AI 2022. It works as a standalone application, and that standalone application will also work as a plugin in Photoshop, Photoshop Elements, Lightroom Classic, and Capture One. If you already own Resize 2022, Resize AI 2022 is available as a free upgrade. If you own On1 Photo Raw 2022, you probably already know that Resize 2022 is integrated into that app. Via a future free update, Resize AI will be integrated in that app. Now, today we're going to use Resize AI as a Lightroom Classic plugin. And we're going to work on this image. And those of you that watch my videos may recognize this image. This image of the gosling is heavily cropped. You can see there's a significant crop on it, and it's cropped down to 2,123 by 1,417 pixels. So if I wanted to print this, I probably wouldn't be able to get a very large print from it. Now, I'm mentioning that you may recognize it because yesterday I did a video demonstrating the built-in resize capabilities of Lightroom Classic. It's called Super Resolution. And in that video, I used Super Resolution and doubled its size to 4246 by 2833. Unfortunately, Super Resolution is very limited. It only doubles the resolution of an image. You can't choose any other resolution except double, and there's no control whatsoever. It just doubles the resolution and you're done. And those of you that watched that video, and by the way, I'll have that video linked in the description below this video, you probably remember I mentioned I didn't like what it did. You could look, there's a lot of pixelization around the fur of this gosling, so I didn't like the results. So we're going to see if On1's Resize AI 2022 can do any better. So we're going to go back to the original raw file. Again, it's 2123 by 1417, and we're going to send it into Resize AI. We're going to right click right on the image, go down to Edit In, and then over and down to On1 Resize AI 2022. Now, a limitation of Lightroom is you cannot send a raw file directly into a plugin, any plugin. You have to send either a PSD, a TIFF, or a JPEG. By default, it wants a PSD, so we'll just keep these PSD settings. Now, if you do use Resize AI 2022 as a standalone app, it will work on raw files, but because of Lightroom's limitation, we have to send this PSD. So we'll click Edit. Lightroom is creating that PSD with those specifications, and it will open it up into On1 Resize AI, or is it On1 AI? I don't know. It's Resize AI 2022. On the left-hand side, you can see there's a number of presets. If you have a specific type of paper you're printing to and it's listed over here, you could just use a preset and it will optimize the output for that paper. Also, you could crop it if you haven't already cropped it. So if you use this as a standalone app and you're putting a raw file into it, you could crop it right here. And then over on the right-hand side, we have some different things we could do with the image to optimize this resolution change that we're doing to it. First of all, how do you want to resize it? Dimension, let's say. And if you do dimensions, you can see that there's common sizes. We have different paper sizes, photographic paper sizes, different square sizes, different video sizes, and so on. And you could do a custom size as well. If you want to use long edge, you could just resize the long edge to a specific number, short edge to a specific number, width, height, megapixels, just a specific megapixel size you want. You could do that, a percentage you want. You know what? I'm going to use long edge, and what we're going to do is I'm going to make it twice as large, just like we did in Lightroom in that other video, and then we'll compare it directly to that Lightroom image. So we'll have images that are of similar resolution and compare them to one another. So I'm going to make the long edge, and I'm just going to double it. So double 2123 is 4246. So I'll type that in here. And when I do and click the tab or tap the tab key, you can see it doubled it in size. And we'll drag it over this way, and we'll look at this area of interest. That's the area where Lightroom had a lot of pixelization. And right off the bat, I don't see any. But what did it do? All right, let's do a before after. Here's before, and there is after. There's before, and there is after. You'll notice that it's sharper, and I want to stress, I did not add any sharpening. You can see that all these radio buttons are turned off. So I haven't added any sharpening whatsoever. There is before, and that is after. The Resize algorithm that is found in Resize AI 2022 will naturally sharpen an image. The reason being is because it interpolates pixels. In the past, when you would enlarge the image, let's say with the Resize, and you had now space between pixels, it would just copy pixels to fill in those spaces. Now it interpolates those spaces, so you get pixels put there that should naturally belong there, and that's where this machine learning, this AI capability comes in. So you can see it really looks good without doing any additional sharpening to it. There's before, and there's after. But if you want to do sharpening to it, you can. Let's just turn this on and open it up. You can see now it's really sharp, right? There's before, and there's after. But it just added some preset in here. Let's see, fixed focus. That's what it did. Let's see what screen looks like. We'll click on that. I kind of like that. There's before, and there's after. Maybe just a little strong, but it looks pretty good. There's print. You go to this drop down, you can see that there's a lot of different types of sharpening here. If you're printing it to matte paper, let's say, you could pick that one, or use progressive sharpening, and so on. So you could try different ones. Screen for a portrait. So if you have a person in it, you may want to use that. So you could come through and use any of these presets, or you could just manually, move the sliders and go to this drop down. What type of sharpening? Do you want to use high pass, progressive, or the unsharp mask? And you could just manually move the sliders. And when you choose different ones, the sliders will change accordingly. Now, I mentioned that I kind of like that screen, but I thought it might be a little too strong. There's before, and there's after. So I'm going to use screen, but I'm going to then manually take the amount. I'm going to pull the amount down and maybe pull detail down just a little as well. There's before, and there's after. That looks pretty good. Now, below that, below sharpening, I'll close that down. We have film grain. If you want to add film grain to it, you can. If you go to this drop-in, you can see that there's a number of different Kodak, Ilford's, and Fujifilm grain types available. I'm not going to add any film grain. You also have the presets along the top. You could choose a preset, or you could just manually dial in some film grain. I'm not going to do that, though. Below that, we have tiling. I like these features that are found in On1. Those of you that use the export module in On1 Photo Raw 2022 know that you could do tiling as well. So if you're printing multiple images that you're going to tile, you could do the tiling here. So basically, it's the same image that you're dividing up into pieces that you'll then print individually, so that you could put them all together. To do a really large wall hanging or something like that. I'm not going to do that. Also, there's gallery wrap. So if you're printing to canvas, and you're most often going to stretch that canvas over a wood frame, you could do that here as well. So again, not doing that. I'm just going to use this sharpening here. And again, we're making it twice as large with the photo size, 4246, and we're going to click done. And what it will do is it will now increase the resolution of our image, and it will open it back up into Lightroom. And we'll have the original RAW file. That was a Nikon RAW file, by the way. And then we'll have the file from super resolution in Lightroom. That was a DNG file. That's this file right here. Oh, no, it isn't. It's this file right here. Or it's this file right here. There it is. All right, let's do this. Let's take the On1 file and put it at the end. So we have the original RAW file. It's 2123 by 1417. Then we have the Lightroom version. It's a DNG file, 4246 by 2833. And then we have the On1 version. It's 4246 by 2834. We got an extra pixel on the short side using the On1 version. But it's hard to see, and I'm sure it's impossible to see in the video. So let's zoom in. First of all, I'm going to go up to View, and I'm going to lock the zoom position. So when I jump between the two images, it doesn't shift. And I'll hold the Command key in on my Mac. It's Control on the PC. We'll zoom into this area right here. This kind of putting the lead ahead of everything here. This is the On1 version. But let's go back to the Lightroom version. And remember, we have all this kind of weird pixelization in here. And then we go to the On1 version. You can see it's not there. And look at the Gosling's face. There is the Lightroom version with super resolution. And here is the On1 version. Lightroom version, On1 version. I think you'll agree the On1 version is superior. So it did a great job. Now in the description below this video, I'll have that video where I demonstrate super resolution that is found integrated into Lightroom Classic. You could check that out. I'll also have links to On1's website. They have a fully working free trial. You could try it for yourself. I also have a discount code. If you decide to buy it, you could save, I think it's 20%. Thank you, everyone who watches my videos. I really do appreciate it. I'll talk to you guys soon.